Who really is Aaron Pedersen behind the camera? Born November 24th, 1970 in Alice Springs, Australia, Aaron Pedersen is an Australian actor and producer.
I was down south trying to carve out a career as an actor.
Aaron Pedersen is known for the following series, Mystery Road 2013.
How's it going?
Are you a real copper, are you? One of them black trackers who turns on his own time.
Goldstone 2016. And Mystery Road 2018.
Your time come around.
He wasn't alone. There was another boy with him.
'Cause I run with the devil.
I mean, an Aboriginal kid and a backpacker, no one's sending out a squad of their best and brightest. No offense.
Back from the fire.
My son is not dead. I can feel it in him.
I know how to do my job.
The way you do your job gets people killed.
Aaron Pedersen wrote and co-produced a film in 2006. It was a short, loving documentary called My Brother Vinny. The film is about the unbreakable bond between Aaron and his brother Vinny.
The best of the best.
Vincent Pedersen's my 34-year-old brother. He's always wanted to be with me, or simply just to hang out with me. Vinny's been my shadow. I've had two shadows.
Who Aaron also refers to as his second shadow. Aaron and Vinny were in and out of foster homes when they were kids. There was 8 of them there in total.
I'm just 1 year older than my brother Vinny. We're both originally from Alice Springs, out in the country, desert rats. And we spent most of our childhood growing up in commission homes or in foster homes under the protection of the child welfare system as wards of the state, with our other brothers and sisters. There's 8 of us in total.
Aaron was 7 when he realized Vinny had special needs. He always knew he was special before then, and he knew it was going to be his job to take care of Vinny.
Looking after each other for a long, long time. And you know what I did up in Sydney? I used to follow him. I used to follow Brother Aaron, eh, brother?
Yes, you did.
Until Aaron released the film My Brother Vinny, nobody knew he had a brother.
At a young age, I knew Vincent was special. He needed special care, special attention. And it's funny, he turned to me when we were very young, and I don't know how it happened, but he gave me duty of care. I can honestly say I didn't know what I was doing. I wish they had a book on it. I would have read it. And maybe things might have been different, but they just don't write books on this stuff.
What some people don't know about Aaron Pedersen is that he usually doesn't speak about his childhood because he grew up in foster homes. He stated in an interview that he didn't even know where to start. It's too hard for him.
I mean, just being moved from home to home to home and then back with Mum and then back home, it really got to me, man. Really knocked my spirit around. I really started to ask questions about who really loved us and who really cared.
Where we learn about life, the good and the bad.
Vinny and I, we grew up with a lot of violence. We grew up with a lot of domestic violence.
During Aaron Pedersen's most known roles presented in Mystery Road 2018, he plays the Indigenous detective Jay Swan, who is presented in the series as a tough, self-confident, and serious character.
Some death, Jay. One day you get it.
Mystery Road focused on the case of the 2 missing teenagers, which was the main reason why Jay Swan was asked to come be a part of their team to help them investigate. After weeks of investigation and speaking with as many people who could have had connections to either of the missing teens, they gathered enough information to come up with different scenarios of who must have taken them or maybe where they were located.
There's a detective team coming down from the homicide branch.
Once the mystery started to open up, it became clear to Jay Swan, and then it wasn't long before he saved the day. In this series, it represents how Indigenous women have the rights and freedom. In the beginning of the show, the tale of the Indigenous girl had the story we all know and have seen before, where she was a victim at a young age. But throughout this story, Siobhan Shields' tale got to be told, and it showed her strength as a woman. As this was an issue we discussed in class during Unit 1, we learned how Indigenous women are victims of rape. As well, I've done some research and found an interesting story on The Star about a woman who had been raped when she was 15 years old while being transported to a residential school, and just recently this year, on January 20th, 2020, she got rejected for her settlement for the 4th time. Charlie Angus had said this issue highlights major issues in the settlement agreement for survivor victims.
But instead of settling with the victim, the government of Justin Trudeau and Madame Carolyn Bennett have gone all the way to British Columbia Superior Court to deny justice to this victim of a sexual crime committed by a federal official. Contested in any way the facts of this terrible case. And yet they denied her justice on the grounds that she was raped on her way to the residential school and not in the property itself.
Then during the trial on January 20th, 2020, the BC Supreme Court said that the case ruled her claim falls outside of the agreement just because the 15-year-old woman was not enrolled at the school.
Ongoing. They're still refusing to turn over police documents because they don't want cases reopened for their deliberate decision to withhold evidence. So, I expect an answer from Carolyn Bennett. She needs to come clean with the Canadian people. What does reconciliation mean in her government if they will take positions like this?
At the beginning of this series, Jay Swan was perceived as a mysterious Indigenous detective whose job was to complete the case of 2 missing people. When he came into the town, he had to make a fast impression on the community and town by showing his skill and work ethic, which was a similar scenario in Dances with Wolves when John Dunbar, Kevin Costner, befriended and gained the trust from the Indigenous people. Which was resembled in Mystery Roads by Jay Swan, Aaron Pedersen, when he resembled as a tough Indigenous Western character, which was similar to Kevin Costner's acting in Dances with Wolves. However, they aren't seen in the same genres of films.
Going? Are you a real cobber, are you? One of them black trackers who turns on his own toe.
Interesting facts you don't know about Aaron Pedersen is that he had a bad childhood where he grew up in foster homes. It's also something Aaron doesn't tend to speak up about either. He has mentioned little comments in interviews such as, "I grew up in a number of homes. I grew up without a lot of structure," that mentions, "I understand, it's all a part of the journey of heartbreak, loss, and gain." Another fact about Aaron's childhood is that he had 8 siblings that were all in foster care with him. He has only spoken up about his one brother, Vinny, who was Aaron's greatest inspiration while releasing his documentary, My Brother Vinny.
A couple of years, it hasn't worked out that way.
Not bad.
I can see the gift that he is in my life, because that's what he is. He's an incredible gift. Come have a look here.
Overall, Aaron Pedersen, in my opinion, has had a phenomenal impact on the film industry, and more people should recognize his work for the brilliant thought and effort that goes into what he does. From his past as a child and growing up, discovering you can play an Indigenous character in film, making an incredible documentary about his brother, my brother Vinny, and speaking out and being afraid about what he had been through in foster homes, being an actor in films and helping write and produce them.
You take it easy too, Gunnar. Woo!
I miss you, bro.
I miss you too, bros.
I'll see you very, very soon. I'll give you a call, eh?
Yeah, don't forget to give me a call, brother.
No, I won't. I won't forget.
And I'll say, hey, Gunnar, how you going down there in the Perth? Cut up, my brother. See you, bro. Love ya.
Aaron Pedersen is an accomplished actor who should be recognized and definitely go farther into the film industry.